mean, that's the most closest border of Jharkhand what we have, Nawada and Koderma. So, little closer place, like 45 kilometers odd.
Yeah, true. Where is Saurav? Like, I'll ask him to join. Actually, even from Nevada, been to like Gaya there. No?
Yeah, Gaya is also like very close space, which is like from our place, from Nawada, it is like 48 kilometers just to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
But the border starts within like 24 kilometers odd. So,
True.
so like usually I fly from there only, Gaya district. So they have airport, right? So from there only usually I come to Bangalore. So we have like
Okay.
just two domestic flight there, uh, which goes via Delhi or Kolkata, and then you take a connecting and come down to Bangalore. Otherwise, Patna is also there, but like Patna to go itself is a little task,
Okay.
considering the traffics and all.
Uh, but now it's like, yeah, it's like overnight journey, something like 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah. So like I need to spend at least 3 hours, but to go to Patna, reach at airport, and then like you just try to ensure, yeah, like 1 hour or so you reach early, right? So it is a little tough, and for guide like 45 minutes, I'll be hitting directly to airport. So it's cool.
Okay. Saurav, do you want to check your mic? Saurav, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible, bro.
Okay.
Okay. So shall we start? Like, it's almost 59.
Yeah, I think we can start.
Okay. So guys, we are live now. Welcome Zaid and Saurav. Hi guys.
Hi, Anubhav. Hi, Zaid.
Hey Anubhav, hi Saurabh.
So Zaid has worked for like almost 5 years as a prodman. So we'll be having great session tonight. More informations about how cyber security really works and what's the role of a prodman, because it's quite a unconventional kind of place to be. Like unconventional in the sense like very less people from the prodman section has been there. So I think it would be great information session we will be having tonight. So Zaid, would you like to introduce yourself? Can you share more about your journey about from your bachelor's degree and information technology to become prodman in cybersecurity industry? How did it went?
Sure, certainly, and thanks for inviting me, Anubhav. And it is going to be a really good session.
Yeah.
So, I'll be try to convey what I can, and
Okay.
certainly it's nice to be here. So to start with, yeah, as you mentioned, it's really a niche space, I would say, to be in cyber tech, that too in product management space. So yeah, I graduated in 2015 from like West Bengal University, and that too in information technology. I worked as a software engineer for a year, and then I moved from that role. Just because I just wanted to try it out, where I found that I'm really good in finding problem statement more at early stage instead of writing code. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I started, and thanks to my CEO there who has helped me. I think I should try some different roles. So that's how it started actually, to start shifting from development journey to uh, product management space. So from there, I think I've taken a break, and then I've joined as a business analyst in one more startup, following to and one more startup in cyber tech. So yeah, so actually I joined in cybertech in 2016, and I got an opportunity from Shield Square. So Shield Square was at that time a very early stage startup. We had like a very few clients at that point in time, and that space itself, like the bot management space they were into, was a very niche. It was not aware in industry itself. Very less people were aware. So when we used to onboard our customer, we had to really help them to understand what problem they're facing. So it was a very niche space being into, and then from there it is like it took off, and we got acquired in 2019 end somewhere by Radware. And then to continuation to that, we got an opportunity to look into multiple product lines like WAF, DDoS, Cloud WAF, KWAF. So because Radware has been into this industry from 23 years, they had a suite of the product.
Okay.
And the missing piece was bot management. So we got with that, and then we suddenly I have spent 7 years, 6 years there, 6.5 years, close to. And then recently I shifted to app selling, which is into again one more very niche space. It's a growing market yet. It is not yet very much open, which is mobile application protection. So it is very specific to mobile application protection, and there are very less competitors in this space. So it is a very like I can say this whole cybersecurity space itself is like very big, but in terms of product management and opportunity, it is little small. You will find very less people working into this. That's a fact. Yeah, you have said it right actually.
Okay, that's a nice introduction. By the way, guys, I want to introduce myself. That is, I have worked for in product as a product manager in Hamara Basket for almost 2.5 years. And sort of, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I've had a very dynamic career journey so far. I started, I did my graduation from IIT Dhanbad back in 2019 in mining engineering. Post that, I joined Cool India where I was an assistant manager. So I had my first exposure to product management or project management in the company itself when I was working as a product manager for rather project manager for implementing an ERP software in the company. So that's when I developed a curiosity for this product management and project management roles. And then after nearly 3 years of experience in Coal India, I joined IIM Kozhikode for my MBA. And here also I have a very diverse portfolio of subjects from strategy, from finance, but particularly from IT analytics field and product management and project management field. And then recently, I also participated in a Tata Imagination Challenge, wherein I my product idea for creating a platform app was selected for mental health issues was selected among the top 50 finalists in the Tata Imagination Challenge, which was hosted by TAS. So, and I think that is everything related to product management is something that I learned in my second year of MBA, and I find this industry really interesting. And I'm not, I won't say that I'm a very expert into this field, but I certainly want to learn more about this, grow as an individual in this segment, and I'm looking forward for opportunities that I can get into the product management.
Okay, that's cool, sort of. So a quick question for Zaid. With over like 7 years of cybersecurity field, what initially drew you to the industry, and how has your role evolved over the years?
Yeah, so see, because I joined the startup, right? Like it was a very early days of us, so we were like doing what it was taking to take off our product, right? It was not like very much you can say framework or template based where you are doing prioritization and releasing the product, right? We were in very early stage, and that time we were onboarding initial clients, initial customers, partners, right? So we were doing what it was taking us to do to get our product moving. So that was a little general statement on that. But coming back to how cybersecurity was actually looking to us at that time is, we have seen this whole bot management space at that time growing in a subtle way. So we had to spend a lot of time to educate our customer itself why they should opt this solution. So considering, let's say one customer has came, then we have to explain them the use case. We have to understand their whole website architecture or their product architecture available on the internet, right? So we have to spend time along with them. We need to explain them the use cases, and then based on that, the at that point we get to know, okay, this could be the solution for that, and then we started implementing. So after onboarding couple of initial customers and partners, we got to understand about one subtle framework, and you can say the engine which we wanted to develop. So it took us a time, like around a year or two, where we are able to figure out what exactly the overall framework is going to look like for this product management itself in this space for bot management. So we have built that. It took us a little time to us. It was very dynamic at earlier stage, but after a certain point in time, we got a framework to continue working upon. And because when you're working on the cyber tech as a product, right, it is little technical to derive. Like you are talking with like some of the best minds as an engineer who really understand the technical problem of this whole cyber tech space. Then you should be also complementing them with your understanding, and we should be little tilt towards the technology. So if that kind of understanding you have, I think you will be able to survive, thrive, and grow. But if you're missing that part, because it's not a little direct to consumer space, right?
Yeah.
If it is little B2B plus a technology, right, where you have to listen to your customer a lot, and also at the same time you have to build something which is very much securing the whole system what you're opting for. It was a little different than what we do in direct to consumer space or any B2C product line.
Okay. So, is it like a app which is available on app stores and Play stores right now? App ceiling is.
So app ceiling, when we talk about what happened exactly is, let's say you are having a product called Hamara Basket, and
Mm-hmm.
that is available in Google Play Store, right? So
Yeah.
what you have to do to secure that application is you have to come to our console, you have to create an account, and then what
Mm-hmm.
exactly you do is you just upload your APK file to that console, and you configure your security postures. So let's say you want to secure your application from cheating tool, or you want to secure your application from data stealing. So like that, you have 20, 30 configurations which you want to configure. It's a switch button on and off. So you
Okay.
switch on that and you start sealing the application. Once you click that, it starts sealing your application and provide you a APK back again to you, which is a secure application. So we do encryption on top. So
Okay.
no developer who is going to maybe later download should be able to understand what encryption has been done. So it should be tightly fixed with the set of security available with the sealing option. And then you launch that application to your Play Store, which means now you're launching a sealed application on the Play Store. And any user who is downloading on their phone are having a secure application. And if there is any malicious activity happening on that application, we get to know, we provide you the result, and at a response, we close the app. So no harm on your application is going to happen.
Okay. That's the like it's mostly B2B and not B2C.
So it's B2B because
Yeah.
end customer to us is again a company who are having a mobile application, and those guys are providing their solution to end customer. So we are not directly communicating to end user. Instead, we are having a business who is sitting and utilizing our application today.
Okay. So, could you could you elaborate on the features you have implemented at Radware? What reduced customer boarding time and automated like production systems? What was the impact of overall product?
So see, when we started onboarding multiple customers from different technologies, right? We started facing challenges with having a different framework, having a different technology available, right? So we started spending more time to fixing those compatibility issues. Like some things are not working in, let's say, Nginx. Some things are not working in Java. So end of the day, we started listening to our customer what problem they're facing, and based on that, we started building a seamless integration where you can configure your technology based security posture. And once you start providing those enable disable feature and readability based configuration, right? We start saving a lot of time for developer plus whoever is onboarding the application, right? So in that way we have started doing that. Earlier it used to take like, let's say, 8 to 10 days to onboard one customer. With the configuration, readable configuration, I would say, we started providing them and providing them more control to integrate. You're able to solve like in a day or like 15-20 minutes or 30 minutes if dedicated time they're giving, we are live with the solution. So that sort of cut down we have done when it comes to integration part. But it took lot of, like you can say, technical understanding on that, because we wanted to get the synchronous data. We wanted to be in a connection with that whole application running, and we wanted to collect the data at a first hand. So behind the scene there is a really major technology improvement we have done, but at the front end we ensured that customer is getting very much basic configuration and just doing enable disable or writing some direct content, and they are ready to save their website or application at their side. So that's how we have done that as a, you can say, integration per se, some slight cut down. And but it took like quite a while for us when we started building it. But later on we have got a very great result where we have really cut down the time for like a day or like 1 hour or so to onboard one customer. So that's how it's been. And there are other features we have updated when we have started moving towards response side. So initial days we used to show block and capture, but moving forward we started showing feed fake data and the JS encryptions, etc. So we have added a lot of response at that point in time. Slowly we started onboarding features which are more configurable and provided to customer, where they can do whitelisting, blacklisting at their side itself, and they can whitelist even mask side. So subnet mask itself they can whitelist and blacklist. So those kind of small features, but yet little critical features for customers we have enabled at earlier stage itself. But for doing all this, I think we have tried to listen customer as much as we can. We have spent a lot of time there. Yeah.
So my quick question to you is like, how does the achievement like really work in this? You mentioned optimizing clouds cost. I've seen your profile, which is like almost 10 to 20% year on year. And how did you
Mhm.
approach this? What strategies or tools did you find most effective in achieving cost optimization?
Yeah, see, this is one problem, Anubhav, which every SaaS company face, maybe at early stage or late at the stage, where their cloud cost is very high. If you're a cloud first SaaS provider, right? So, and today people love being on cloud. It's not like people are still looking for on-prem a lot, apart from some banking institution because they have compliance, right? So they have to try sometime on-prem solution. But apart from that, people like to be on cloud. So what has happened is when we started growing, suddenly we have started doing a lot of changes at the infrastructure level, and our cost was certainly shooting up because we have to serve globally, and we didn't wanted to make a delay while we were serving a customer. When I said delay, it was a response time. Like request first comes to our machine and then goes back to customer. At that time, it should not be more than like 5 to 10 ms. Otherwise, it will kill the experience. So we have started deploying a lot of machine. And then the major task was to cut down the cloud cost, because we had a benchmark that we should not spend 20% of the total investment on the cloud. This is what we have created as a thumb rule for us. So we have done at stages. So we have started with doing a commitment towards Google or AWS as a commitment of, let's say, 1 year or 3 years down the line, that will be certainly using this number of machines. So that was the first very early stage of adoption. That stage we have done some commitment, and we have got some cloud discounts there. Second stage, what we have done is we have started using a lot of uh, preemptible machines on Google Cloud. So where machines are available at a cheaper cost, and to do so, what we have to do is we have to keep our module very dynamic and ready to deploy in a faster way, right? So let's say a machine goes off and on, we should be deploying our module as fast as how machine is going down. And also we have to set a limit. If we are scaling and we are hitting 80%, we should know that this preemptible machine will come and install all the module within 5 minutes or so. So that level of scale we have started doing. And at that point in time, we have got some again cloud cost cut, because we are on-prem running, which is like cheaper than like 50 to 75% somewhere close to. So that cost has got down. At a third stage, what we have done is we have done a partnership with retailers. So we have gone through partners, not directly to Google's, because from partner we get a discount somewhere. It is purely based on the relationship what you build with the partner, because reseller has lot of accounts running within their system, so they get extra discount from Google directly, right? So we go as a single account to Google, but when reseller is talking, they're talking about massive 50, 200, 200 accounts. So they get an extra discount. So we are utilizing that part also. Third and foremost, like we started using different technologies within the system. So let's say we were using BQ. Earlier we are directly doing query. Slowly we started shifting to the slot wise. So that has helped us to control our cost again more on the Google Cloud side. There are some smart engineering people can do where we also avoid so many, you can say a smaller things, not very much, you can say highly technical, but the basics like set the churn down time for your unused data set. So let's say put a 60 days limit to that, and more or less whatever data you have, it's good trade off. But sometimes we miss this configuration at early stage. So these are like overall practice. You should keep doing audits again to your infrastructure itself. So these are the few items we should, I think, practice when you're working towards any cloud solution. And this has helped us to control our cost at 20%, 15 to 20% of overall revenue. And that's how these are the few initial steps. But with the smart engineering, people can onboard a couple of solutions like who are providing cost effectiveness kind of results to you. I think one or two example I can say is one is, I think, Humilic, which is again a startup in Bangalore. They are providing that solution. There is a Pump, which is YC startup. So they provide in AWS and Google Cloud as a discounting system and mechanism. They enable the tool, and then you start knowing about like how much you are spending and how much you can do the cost cut down. So there are tools also, and there are some internal practice also people can follow to that.
Well explained, Zaid. I think how you explained like what you answered is your answer reflects the very essence of product management, which is to continuously develop the product, taking feedbacks from the clients, and in an iterative way. So I think it was brilliant. I have a very fundamental question related to, not exactly fundamental, like these days we hear a lot of buzzwords about generative AI and blockchain and everything. So I would like to understand like how these tools could be used in the space of cybersecurity.
Saurav, I have really like open view about that. See, frankly speaking, we are listening couple of words from long, right? Blockchain, I think we are hearing from like three and a half or 4 years plus, and then we started listening about generative AI recently, in like from like you can say 1 years maximum, right? So these two words are in the market from like a couple of years. I would say we should utilize the technology in a way we want, not just going by a buzzword itself, right? Let's say if I don't need a blockchain technology to be involved, and if I can solve that problem using a regular system, which is maybe BigQuery or a Scala or any of the solution, right? Any of the solution, I think we should go for that instead of just getting into the buzzword. But on that other side, generative AI is solving one of the good problem, which is, let's say you have thousands of FAQs question. Like frankly speaking, when we build our product, we have a lot of questions from customers because it's a very niche space, right? Not every customer is aware about cybersecurity at full space, right? So we had like thousands of FAQs. So what we have done is we have deployed a system and uploaded our entire KB there, and then we have started training that model. Then if customers is getting onboarded, give them this as a feature that you start learning from there, right? And then you are learning by your own, and we are not spending our support time to help you to learn about cyber tech, right? So instead you are learning with an agent which is helping you from our guide, and they're enjoying the conversation itself, right? And you are learning in a more fun way instead of support response. So that is one good way of using generative AI. Talking about blockchain, again, it's about the real need of it, right? I'm not
Right.
telling you not use, but I'm telling if it is really required to use blockchain, then use it. If you don't need, let's not spend time there, because by the time you'll start implementing blockchain, you really need a force of developers, right? You need a couple of people
Right,
who
right,
can
right.
blockchain in a nice way. Then you have to really shift your focus. Instead, if you fix our focus at a cyberspace itself and start building some nice security solution, that is more at a result per se, I'll say will be a good no, because we need to also see where we are going. So I think from product manager aspects, I'll just see what is the comparative result I'm getting. Certainly, I'll opt for generative AI to solve my queries, questions, etc. And on the other side, I'll see if blockchain is really helping me or not. And if it is really adding value, then only I'll opt for it. Otherwise, I think I'm good with that regular technologies also we have.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to understand. Like, what are the use cases of these technology in this particular space?
AI, certainly we see that there is a real use starting from handling the content itself, handling the query at earlier stage, what a query we can solve, and moving forward, I feel there will be more. I think within cyber tech, right, there are a lot of protection we do based on rules, right? So I think some of the very common rules can be suggested by generative AI. I'm just being optimistic here. I have not implemented that. Possibly, some of the rules, like let's say a customer is onboarded, and let's say we have given option to customer to enable some of the rules for protection. Generative AI might suggest some of the rules there. That this rule can be enabled to protect your cyber, so protect your website more and more in this way. Possible as a solution.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, so I also have a very fundamental question with respect to cyber security, particularly when there is a case of, let's say, a cyber attack that was not anticipated early on by an organization. So, like here in our curriculum, there was this subject where we came to know about how the risk management takes place in such kind of situations. So basically, we are taught that there are two ways. Either you have a backup center where you transfer your entire operation, you take the backup of everything related to your data and everything, and you keep your operations continued in through that remote server or a remote data center, or you shut off the operations for a while, and then after implementing all the security protocols, you again restart your operations. So this might also affect your operation and might also incur some costs related to because of this. So I just want to understand, like, how do you decide which way to go for, like, and what are the factors that you consider before taking this measure?
Sure. So I got to understand. So see, this is the situation we are talking about when you are already got compromised, right? So you already got compromised. Your system is already leaking, and now you want to save it, right?
Right.
What I would say is, before you are getting into the situation, right, we should ensure our data center or whichever internet property I have, right, it should be secured enough from all this. And the stage it starts from are so you have to monitor your internet property very closely. You should start seeing that whether you are seeing any DDoS attack behavior from last few days or not. So we should monitor this as a website owner, as an application owner. You should start or as a you can say cloud resource owner, right? You should keep monitoring your service, and you should keep check whether you are getting some DDoS attack or not. From where you are getting your recent requests? Is it from a regular users, or are you seeing some anomalies there? So we should first work on the alarm. Are we seeing certain alarms or not? So if we are trying to mitigate at early stage itself, we will not be in the situation of selecting one of these two. We can be able to prevent all this beforehand, because most of the time we see companies are having this kind of attacks and are not able to tackle this because either they're not using some of the solution or the techniques to protect their content, or their their system got compromised because some of the security key or secure key or their IAM role has got exposed. From there, it's any attacker will start getting into the system, right? So I think we should not even think of the situation what is going to happen on the next stage. Instead, we should start protecting our application at early stage itself. So at that time, if we are trying to secure ourselves by using any DDoS solution, by using any WAF solution or bot management solution or any of this solution, right, which is going to ensure that your system is secure and safe, that should be starting with like enough, like 99% or 90 to 99% you're safe. And if at all you got into the situation that you got compromised, first and foremost, if you have the right resource, if you have the incident response plan properly designed, you should be certainly switching into the next system. This is in the next region, or you start spinning your new infrastructure itself. That should be the first option, because you don't want your customer to be hampered. Let's consider a case where SBI got a problem like this, right? They cannot shut down the system right away, right? They need to serve the customer. There's tons of operation happening. Lot of settlements are going on within the exchange, right? So they cannot shut down this. They have to opt for a new infrastructure running, and they'll be keeping a backup of backup. So they'll be having like 2-3 backups where they can route the traffic and they can shut down then the current running infrastructure. So I think we should have a backup plan for sure ready. That's where the risk management or the incident response plan or the data recovery, DLP, all this comes in the picture at that point itself.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, again, I have one more fundamental question related to the product management segment. You are in the space of you are in the B2B space, right?
Yeah.
So I understand that in case of B2C, if we talk about product management, it is the whole sprint cycle. If I'm correct, it is faster as compared to B2B segment, right?
Right.
So, how do you balance? So, in the B2B segment, how do you balance the need for quick time to market while ensuring that you have all the optimal resources, and you make sure that the product that you are delivering to your clients have all the functionalities in place. So, how do you go about that?
See, sort of actually, it's B2B or B2C, right? You want always to be ahead of your competition, right? Or you want to ensure that you are serving at most great solution which customers are liking. So in both the places, it's the same thing. At least in terms of what you want to deliver, right? This is our goal in general. Now, we should do it? There are a couple of things we can take as example. We should keep learning what our competitors are doing. First step. Second step, because B2B is a solution which industry is going to procure from you, right? Industry doesn't procure like they go on Google search and find and then done. It's not the regular way of procurement, right? They do a lot of due diligence. They talk to a lot of partners beforehand, right? So keep reading about what these partners are talking about one of the industry. Let's say Gartner, right? They keep publishing about the report. So make sure that you are also fulfilling the Gartner's requirement along the line, and then you are also somewhere coming into that Gartner's you can say book list and checklist, and you have started getting into the magic quadrant. Read on the folks what they're writing about. Read about the faster what they're writing about. So read those reports provider also, like what they're talking about the industry itself. That's the second space. Third space is try to understand your customers at a max level. So what will happen is, let's say you onboarded one customer today, right? And in B2B, the ticket size itself is very high, and that too in cyberspace it's more higher than usual, right? So what will happen once the day you start onboarding one customer, you will feel that okay, customer has tons of needs, right? And then you have to fulfill all of those. But just wait for it, digest it, read about it, and try to see which all are really required and can be a common template across my customer or not. Because you cannot deliver everything and customize for one customer, right? So you have to really take a pause, understand that, and see whether it is fitting into my system or not. Whether it is really coming as our competitors are doing or not, whether it is under reports or not, whether this customer is only looking for this kind of solution or there are a lot of customers are looking for this solution. Do brainstorming whether this solution itself is feasible or not, whether it is fitting into our spectrum of cyber solution what we are going to provide them or not. right? So all this you have to consider and then start building it. And it's not like we are, because we don't release often. We really release often. We even release like once in a week as a solution in terms of security feature itself, right? We release that. We always release some of the features. We don't hold the feature for like, let's say 2-3 months or so, because let's say today one attack has happened, and if I keep my customer waiting for 1 week or 2 weeks, it's a cost for them, right? So we need to ensure that we are also releasing faster as much as we can. So we also release faster, but for that we have to ensure that we have a flexible space for releasing this module. So that's where the whole pipeline of CI/CD etc. comes into the picture, where you have a really tight, you can say, your system is very set and tight, where you just start writing the code and push that security feature, and it's available in your production, and customer can start using it. Because you cannot keep customer waiting when there is a security breach for like a week or month or so, right? It's an immediate patch. So we also do quick releases. But before that, if it's a breach etc and all, it's a quick call. We do faster. If it is a feature, we take a pause. We understand what is really required, fit into our system, and then plan for it. Yeah.
So, Saurabh, I have a quick question. Suppose somebody wants to switch
Uh,
to PM. Yes, I'm taking a question, Saurabh. So,
Hello.
somebody wants to switch to PM. So, what are the
Mm-hmm.
steps? Few steps, like in very brief, very. We'll keep it short because we are accident time. So, let's keep it very short. And like, what are the
Mm-hmm.
few courses, live projects, or how they could get the opportunities? This in short, if you could tell.
Yeah, so see, I think right now, I think we have a great internet support itself, right? Within the LinkedIn, I think we keep seeing a lot of communities talking about the product management role itself, right? And we see a lot of mentors available there writing about it. And over the YouTube, I think there are some of the great session being given by YC, how you think about your product, etc. And I think Intercom has been posting from long about product management practices, right? So there are a lot of resources available, people can really opt for. And apart from that, I think it's one more thing where you really have uh, as an individual, right, where you are really ready to talk about or opt a role for product management. And that's a start from how keen you are to understand a problem. Do you really feel that this problem to be solved in a real way? And second part, like, are you not like in a mode like this problem is solved and then I'm done? No, you need to be keep innovating on top of it. So if these 2-3 type of curiosity if you have, I think you can start your journey. And maybe to support that, I think there are a lot of internet resources available. I think people can really go and just search on YouTube, avoiding the jargons, but they can find a lot of contents available. There are tons of influencer I've seen over the LinkedIn talking about people. So I think there is resources available, and I think to transition that, I think people can really go for a small internship they can do and see how this really works. That's how I think generally people start actually.
So you mentioned like YC. So YC coordinator
Yeah.
in the website. Are you talking about the guide to product management, or like how is it? What did you actually
So,
meant
so
by YC?
over the YouTube, I think a couple of YC folks have come over and they have talked about this as a product management practice, what one should do. So it is available on the YouTube. You just search like YC product management talks. I think there are a couple of people talking about this, and also over the website, I think they have the blogs and article written about PM role. So I think people can follow that. And Intercom has to overall like one section itself about the PM role. So I think people can use that as well.
Okay. So sort of over to you. Saurav, can you hear us?
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah,
audible.
yeah.
Sorry, guys. I lost my internet connection because and I lost you guys there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one more question, particularly related to like when like Zaid, you work in a space where you provide cyber security related services to your business clients, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I would just like to understand that when you are dealing with clients who are competitors, right, and you are dealing with their sensitive data. So how do you gain their confidence, uh, uh, while providing these services?
See, so when we talk about like what type of data we are considering, right? We keep it very fair with our customer. What type of data we are going to capture, and we try to always avoid to capture PII types of data, which is personal information. We try to avoid that, and also we try avoiding any sensitive data, considering credit card, etc. And all. We try to avoid that capturing, and certainly we don't capture as well. And to complement that, right, we try to keep a folio ready of compliance certificate. For example, PCI DSS. Let's see you're getting the data or not. You get the audit done for your machine systems and your process, and get the PCI DSS compliance certificate done. You can do SOC 2 for US region, which is again a software related compliance certificate, and then you can do ISO for India, where you get again certification related to compliance back. So likewise, I think for each region, GDPR is one of the thing where you try to ensure that Europe region data is not coming into your system, and it is only lying into the Europe region. So that is the infrastructure piece people can build. It's all about like how many certifications you can bring to prove that you are following the system. And the second part is always try to avoid capturing PII data at the first place itself. In that way, we are always compliant, and then we don't have to worry about it. And if at all we are capturing any data, we need to ensure that it is being conveyed at early stage itself, like this own so data we are going to capture. And we try to avoid always, and we don't collect actually direct any PII for sure.
Okay, got it.
So it's a very you can say broad space when it comes to compliance. Like people do audit and they get their scan done, and they get the auditors from multiple places, and they get the completion done, and they give AOC for PCI DSS, which is fair enough to talk about to our customer that we are PCI DSS certified with AOC, showing that, and then you follow the best practices available. Uh, and then you're good to go. I think that will bring the enough confidence to the customer.
Okay.
So, with that being said, let's wrap the session up. And thank you, Zad, for being on the show. And we love your advices and information be shared by you. So, any last opinion of yours, sort of?
Yeah, I think it was a lovely interaction with you, Zaid. I got to know a lot more thing about cybersecurity and how product management can roles can be, we can go about uh, these opportunities in this in that niche space, right? So I think it was lovely interacting with you.
Yes, yeah. It was nice to be here. I think we have covered bits and pieces. I think there are more to be get added. Certainly, maybe we can connect over again, and we can just keep ourselves again back to how product management works overall within this cyberspace. We can talk about it. But it was lovely interacting with you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
okay.
and really grateful to be here. Yeah.
Same, Zed. So we'll be in connect,
Yeah,
and probably in a few
same.
days we could see you back on the show. With that
Yeah.
being said,
Sure.
let's close the show for tonight. Have a good night, all.
Yeah. Good night, all. Yeah. Okay. See you guys.
Good at all.
हाँ भाई.
हाँ भाई, थैंक यू सो मच ट्विटर का। एंड ये बंदा तो कुछ ज्यादा ही पैशनेट था अपने काम को लेकर।
सही में यार,
और
मतलब
बोले जा रहा बोले
ऐसा ऐसा जारगन पेला है ना बहन चोद, आधा तो पल्ले नहीं पड़ा क्लाउड का.
हाँ, मतलब एक लग तो रहा था कि मतलब पहले मेरे को लगा कि साला ऐसे ही फेंक